Hello everyone, welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name is Carolyn if you're brand new here, and today I'm going to be filming my 1K Q&A. So first of all, thank you so much for 1,000 subscribers. I can't even begin to explain how happy you're all making me, and I was just so nervous and hesitant to start this channel, and I've just absolutely loved nerding out and meeting and knowing and getting to know people who are just as nerdy as me. I have just been having so much fun with it, and I just really appreciate all of you wonderful humans. So I know we're not in my usual setup, and that is because there is shit everywhere. We just got back from the shore, and I haven't unpacked it all, and I'm just trying to not make you have to see all that, because it's not a pretty sight. So we are in this very small frame, but we're doing what we can. I asked for questions over on my Instagram, and thank you again to anyone who sent over questions. And let's just get started, because I could talk for a long time. First, ideal vacation. So, I'm actually thinking about this at the moment because Marco and I, my partner, we are planning a trip before the end of 2021. Of course, we haven't been able to take a trip. Things haven't been open. Things haven't been safe. And we are just now trying to plan something because he actually has saved up all of his vacation days, and if he doesn't use them, he loses almost all of them, and he has 3.5 weeks saved, and that would obviously be awful. So we are plotting and planning and thinking of where we could go that's safe, and trying to just get some options. But I am a sucker for museums. I love all the Viator tours. I love exploring all the little nooks and crannies to a city and really getting to know it. And Marco is more of a beach guy. So he could just lounge around with his mixed drink and have a great time for a week or more. I am not built for the sun, as maybe you can imagine. I get burnt to a crisp in a few minutes, honestly. So we have tried to go back and forth with our vacations and make it fair. We've been to the DR, which was his ideal vacation, and I really enjoyed myself. But after a few days of just lounging on the beach, I need activity. And then a few years ago we went to Paris, and he did love it. He was absolutely blown away. He loved all the museums. He had a great time, but by the end he was physically exhausted. You know, you could walk however many miles in a day just running around from different tours, different museums, doing all the touristy things. So now we're trying to find something in the middle. I am very interested in going to Germany. Prague sounds really amazing to me. I think he would really like Italy. He's a wine guy. So we're just trying to see our options and plan something, but I'm not somebody who likes to relax on a vacation. I like a whole itinerary. So that's my ideal vacation. Lots of museums, finding some little nooks and crannies that aren't on the map that people don't know about. That's my type of vacation. Fave movie / TV show. So I actually don't watch that many movies. I'm much more of a TV show kind of gal. I think some of my favorites are Dexter. I'm so excited that it's coming back. I absolutely binged that show. I loved Mindhunter. What else? Derry Girls, freaking fantastic. The Borgias, I've talked about this show. And don't watch it and then judge me, because it's not a good historical representation of the time, but it's a romp. It's so entertaining. The guy who plays Cesare is everything and more to me. But my favorite show, I think, of all time has to be Peaky Blinders. I've watched that show many times. I think the acting, the script, the setting, the characters, the outfits, the music, everything about that show was perfection. So that, and Naked and Afraid. Something fun for the end of summer, a summer read. I don't read a lot of fun books, but I would say The Pisces by Melissa Broder. It's fun, it's disturbing, has those beachy, aquamarine, sexy vibes. And then My Sister the Serial Killer. I loved that book. It doesn't sound like a fun book, but it is really fun. It's a quick thriller, very punchy and endlessly entertaining, and you could read it in a day. So those would be my two summer reads. Favorite place to read. So I know that you guys know that I am in this room a lot. So when I'm reading, I don't love to be in this room unless it's nighttime and I'm gonna go to bed very, very soon. I usually like to read downstairs on the couch in the family room just because I'm in this little box a lot. So that's my favorite spot. Favorite childhood book? I love this question. Thank you, Leah. So I was thinking about it and just got like instantly overwhelmed. And honestly, the first book that came to my mind was that American Girl Changing Body book. It's not my favorite book, but it's just the one that really stands out and defines a generation of young girls. But I would say there's like different books for different times of my childhood, right? Like I was thinking anything Ramona and Beezus, anything Fudge. Remember Fudge? He was amazing. But the books that really like came to my mind was Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret. You know, the I must increase my bust. Yeah, you guys know what I'm talking about. But I also loved the Secret Treehouse books. I read all the Twilights. I'm not afraid to say it. But like, I think I could actually dedicate a whole video to all the books that I loved at like different stages of my childhood. Because there's a lot. Anything Arthur. Loved the Arthur books. What else? Let's see. Oh, Little House on the Prairie books. Loved those. Yeah, I would say those were like some of the key moments in my childhood, in my youth. Oh, and I also loved the in-card books, but you guys probably knew that. Okay, I'm sorry you moved. My card was full. Next question. What was your major in college? So I was a history major in my undergrad. I have not talked about college yet on here. I was actually a transfer student to my university, and I transferred in my junior year, and I actually was only there like a year and a half because I moved home because of COVID. And I don't even know what to say. I was like very, very, very unhappy in college. So it was all like a blur kind of, but I just really wanted to study something I loved, and I wanted to enjoy my classes. So yeah, I was a history major. I don't want to be a history teacher. Don't ask. I hate when people ask like, oh, so you want to be a teacher? No, I love teachers. My mom's a teacher. She's my fave, but I do not want to be a teacher. But I just love history. I love writing essays. You guys know I love reading, so it fit for me. Yeah. Next question. Katie Books, best pasta shape. So, either like a beautiful angel hair pasta, because that's like a bougie, fancy, like you need really good sauce for the pasta. But if it's just kind of the pasta is like the side and you have all the good stuff on top, like the really twisty, oh, what's it called? I'll put a picture up, but you know, the really twisty pasta. That's the ideal pasta shape. And tips for people who want to start booktube. So I think for me, what I could tell people is just like, do it. I was so like hesitant to do it. I felt so embarrassed. And still, if someone like talks about it in public to me, like even if they're saying something really, really nice, like, oh my God, I watched your channel. Like sometimes I do get like, I'm very, very pale. I have rosacea. I can get like bright red in the face on the drop of a hat. And that does happen to me. I just get like embarrassed, even though like, I don't know, I just get embarrassed. But I think the main thing is just like, do it. This is like a safe, fun space. We're all nerds together, and there's nothing embarrassing about reading and loving to chat about it. And I think any hobby that makes you feel like accomplished is a good hobby to have. So just do it. Don't feel embarrassed. And just like start with your phone. Don't make it like a big to-do. Just sit down, start chatting. People will love it. Oh, good question. cc.cozies. Do you have plans in the future to do a read-along, maybe the Southern Reach trilogy? I do not have any plans to do a read-along, just because I don't know if anyone would do it with me. CC, you and I could do it. If you don't know, this is the first time on my channel, the Southern Reach trilogy by Jeff Vandermeer are my favorite books ever. I talk about them all the time, and I know it's annoying, but I just can't stop. So CC, I would love to do that maybe in like the new year, if you would read them with me, even if we just started off with Annihilation, and then if you want to continue in it, you can. I would absolutely do that. Those books make me so happy. My card keeps filling up. The question was, what is a genre you were hoping to read more or less of in the near future? So I think I'm still kind of finding my niche, but you probably know that I will read anything. I'll try anything. I love some good old speculative fiction / weirdness like Vandermeer. I do love historical fiction. That's like almost like a comfort type of book for me. I love just good old literary fiction, stories about families, relationships, humans being humans. But I think right now I feel I want something that makes me like the escapism type of thing. I want to read about different worlds. Like I'm really loving my Vandermeer at the moment, of course. Some weirdness that is like good writing, good world building, and has something to say, like a good philosophy underneath. So the book has depth and meaning. So I think some more speculative fiction, like that's why I love the Broken Earth trilogy so much, because it is fantasy. It does kind of take you out of your own world, but it has such a philosophy to that book, and it's so smart. So that is kind of the vibe I'm on right now. But as I get into like, I mean, it's only August, everyone relax. I'm not like wishing my life away. I'm just saying as it goes into like fall and winter, I do love some like family stories. I always reread Little Women in the winter. I love some big old chunky books. So we'll see. But I'm open to anything. You guys know that. How does one get into reading? I don't know. There's a global pandemic. You can't see anyone. You're lonely. That's how it happened for me. No, but I think my mom was an English teacher. She always made us read as kids. It was like 1 hour a day, or you can't watch Liberty Kids or whatever it may be. You know, like you need to have your 1 hour of reading in your belt for the day. And that was just not me as a kid. Like there were books that I absolutely devoured and I loved them, but I wasn't just gonna go like pick up a book for fun. And that obviously devastated her. Whatever. But I think now it's just something I've been loving. I think you pick a book that you just think you're gonna love. It just sounds interesting. It doesn't matter what it's about, what genre it is, what age group it's meant for, whatever it may be, you pick it up. You just kind of get like sucked into it. And then like you also don't have to be reading 10 to 15 plus books a month. Like you can read one book and like just read it bit by bit and just like do what makes you happy. You could put it down, pick it up later, but sometimes it's nice to break up the screen time. Sometimes I get like migraines behind my eyes, and then you know, you go pick up a book, whatever it may be. What is your fave cover of the year? Good question. So I am a little bit of a cover snob. We all are. I like it to be visually pleasing. And obviously I have no artistic ability myself, but I do have a lot of opinions. Like for example, I am currently reading Dead Astronauts by Vandermeer. That is a freaking stunning cover. And really just like gets the vibe of the book. This like otherworldly weirdness, kind of beautiful, slightly horrifying. You know, the artist did their job. But I think my favorite cover of the year, I don't know if you mean like, did it come out this year? Did I read it this year? Piranesi, that like gold foil. So what is it? It's like gold foil. Beautiful. Like I could have a poster of that. Anything that's like really, really interesting to look at. Or just like super plain, like a Sheila Heti moment. Either one works. Stranded on a desert island, you can only have one book. What would it be? Can't be Vandermeer. So I think if you're on a desert island, you want something that is like, again, the escapism thing. You want something that will make you think, that'll take you out of your environment. I think I would bring can I bring 3 if it's a trilogy? Or like, fine, just like the first book in the Cromwell trilogy, Wolf Hall. That's a big book, so I think you won't get bored. It will take you some time. That's another one of my faves. It will make you think, and after, like, it would be a reread for me, but I think it would make you, there's always moments that you didn't pick up on before, or like going back and being like, oh my god, this is so important, or really just like tracing that character development that Mantell does so freaking well. But also it's just like an absolute comfort read, even though it is intense and very, very like overwhelming at the same time. But a character development kind of a book with a setting that is Tudor England. That's all I could ask for on a desert island. Number one book you want to read in your lifetime. Dune. I'm trying, guys. I'm trying to read Dune for the same reason everyone else is. Zendaya and Timothée Chalamet. And I know that it has such a fan following, and I'm struggling with it. I've got to be honest, I'm struggling to get through it. I have taken some time off, and I'm going to pick it up again soon. I want to, like, understand the hype. So I'm going to persevere with that one, but another book that I would like to read in my lifetime is 1Q84, the big old 1,000-page book. Again, that's, like, a book that I think I really want to read in my lifetime. It seems like a very important book. It sounds like something I would love, even though it is so overwhelming in page count. The speculative fiction, dystopian type of thing sounds fantastic. So those are my two for now. Favorite thing to do when you're not reading? I love some hikes. I love some window shopping. What do? I don't know what I do. I don't do that much, guys. I love going on Instagram and looking at all of your booktube content or bookstagram content. I don't do that much. But I think I really enjoy my runs and my Sydney Cummings. That's why I have this big ass bruise on my knee from running. Those are my things. And like I said, you guys know my favorite shows, and I will like go back in and rewatch Derry Girls for just like that comfort and joy that it gives me. Okay, I think this is, oh no, this isn't the last one. Okay. If you could only read 2 books forever, which ones would you pick? Steffi. I would say if you're only going to be able to read 2 books forever, you need one for comfort and for joy, and you need one that will make you think, and that is like just a good old classic fave. So for me, the one that would be the comforting book would always be Little Women. I love that book with my whole heart. And the Winona Ryder movie, love them. Yeah, that is one that I could always reread and never get bored of. I've been doing it my whole life, rereading that book. I have my tattoo for Little Women. I also think my other book that would just make me think, and it's like a weird one, but a good old fave, would be Annihilation by Vandermeer. There was no little note to say that I couldn't be Vandermeer for that one. So those would be my 2 for like different moods. Okay, I think this is the last question. It has a few different parts to it. So, first part, do you reread your favorite books? I do. I think there are some books that can be my favorites that I don't feel a need to reread, but there are books that I will reread because, like Little Women, I reread it, I don't even know how many times. Beloved by Toni Morrison, I've reread probably like 4 or 5 times now. And there's always something else I discover in that book that I didn't see the last time. I think that is probably one of the best books I've ever read. I do, but there are some books that I can put down, and even though I like loved it, I don't need to reread it right away. I can like sit with it for a year and then reread it. But I do reread my favorite books. I haven't reread any this year though that I can think of. So next year I will do some rereads. The second part of this question, do you think that BookTube pressures you to get new releases as opposed to just reading any books you like? I think it definitely, BookTube focuses a lot on like the new hot book on the market, what everyone's reading and talking about, and that's fair. And I do, like for example, there are books that I'll go and pick up because I saw somebody I love talking about it and it just came out. But I do think that like I had so many years off of reading, or I was just reading a very specific selection of books, whether it be for class or whatever it may be. So there's a lot of backlist books, guys, and you don't have to go and spend like $28 on a hardback. First of all, you can wait. You can rent it at the library, whatever it may be. I know maybe I'm being a hypocrite because I do really like to, if a book sounds fantastic, like as soon as I heard about Piranesi, I ran out and bought it. And that was like a treat myself moment. But there's a lot of books that I have on my shelves that I've had since I was a kid that I haven't read yet. So, and I think I try to find the balance, because there are a lot of authors that like have a huge backlist selection and say I read like their new Like, for example, Akwaeke Emezi. I just discovered their work, and now I can like go back, and they only have a few books out so far, but now I can go back and read the books that they've released a few years ago. So I think it's always fun, maybe if you like start with a new release and then you go back into that author's backlist selection, but you don't have to spend, reading shouldn't be a super expensive hobby. There's ways to get around it. And read what makes you happy, because then it like, how much does it suck when you go and spend $30 on a hardback and you don't love it? For example, I just bought, oh my god, Everyone Knows Your Mother's a Witch by Rivka Galkin. That book was super expensive. It's a brand new release and I didn't love it. So again, I should have waited, read more reviews, or just waited till it came out of paperback. So I feel like I'm trying to find the balance, but I do love some backlist books, so that, I think, is all the questions. This has been so much fun. Thank you again all for subscribing. Much love. And yeah, comment below what videos you'd like to see from me. That would be super helpful. And again, thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't, if you feel so inclined, and I'll see you very soon in my next one. Bye, everyone.